Hey guys, welcome back to our Little Mountain Life. My name is Don, and today's video is all about raising ducks for the first time. I'm not gonna lie, we were not fully prepared to be duck people, even if my name is Donald. You see, it all started when YouTube's most famous duck farmer sent us some eggs in the mail. That's right, Morgan from Goldshaw Farm up in Vermont.
Release the Kraken!
Sent us some eggs, and we actually did a whole hatching video way back when, 6 months ago, because now it has been 6 months since we picked them up in the mail and put them in the incubator. We had no idea what we were doing. We consulted YouTube U like anybody would and just went with the flow, tried it out, and hoped for the best. I'll link that video detailing the hatching process down in the description below. Although we've never raised ducks before, we do have experience raising chickens from the chick stage, buying them from the feed store, setting up the brooder and all that kind of stuff. But ducks, they're a whole nother animal. Anyways, like you do, you take the ducks out of the incubator, you put them in the brooder, and then we actually set up a brooder in our chicken coop behind me, and that worked out really well. And then from the brooder, we moved them into like a dog kennel setup where they have like this wire fencing all around them, and that worked out well, and we rotated them to fresh grass every few days. You see, you definitely need some space with ducks. They make a lot of mess, they eat a lot of grass, and you need to be prepared to move them and keep them on fresh grass as often as possible. Now, using this poultry netting behind me, the electrified Premier One poultry netting, we've actually moved them about 4 times now. We try to give them larger paddock sizes each time, and now that they're full grown and need a lot of grass, we try to open up the space. You can see right here, this area is kind of bare, and that's where they were before they moved over to this area here. They've already kind of cut down the grass, but there is some grassy stuff behind. And now we are starting to approach winter where grass is actually just going away altogether. So, we try to give them as much space as possible. But as the temperatures come down, there's only so much you can do other than to move them and keep them out of the mud. Morgan at Goldshaw Farm, who sent us the ducks, he has a really nice setup. He's actually got a farm pond that he's dug out, and he's actually tried to coat the bottom of it to retain water. I don't have a farm pond, at least not yet. I would love to have one someday. But for now, we've been using these little mixing bins. I got them from Lowe's. They are for mixing up cement, small batches of cement, concrete. And they're working out great. They're really easy to use. They're really easy to dump and add water to. The mucky bottomness of the water doesn't really stick to it. We started using a kiddie pool, but it's very thin material, very thin plastic. And these bins are really thick plastic, and they take a beating a lot better than the old kiddie pool. So I'm glad we upgraded to these. These are not very expensive, like 15 bucks at Lowe's. And they're plenty big enough for the ducks to get in and do their thing. They like to splash around and get the water down into their feathers and do all the things that ducks like to do in the water. One thing with any small animal on a homestead, you do need to be cognizant of predators and have a way to deal with predator control. We do have a beagle that hangs out here in this fenced-in area, and we're not too far from our house. So far so good. We haven't had any issues with predators messing with our ducks. As far as food goes, definitely try to keep them on grass as much as we could, but we do supplement them. At this point, they're on the same layer feed that we have our chickens on, and that seems to be working out well. Now, when we hatched out these ducks, I had no idea what I was really getting into. I knew a little bit about the breed, the khaki Campbell breed, knowing that they were prolific egg layers, and a lot of people have khaki Campbells for the egg production. The one thing I didn't know is what was going to be my male to female ratio. How many drakes was I going to end up with out of this batch? Well, we hatched 8 ducks, and we have 1 drake. I cannot believe the odds of that. It just turned out that we have 7 females and 1 male. It is the perfect ratio. That rarely happens when you're getting chickens and ducks. Usually you have to either call or separate the extra males so that they're not outnumbering the females and getting too aggressive with each other. It's worked out great. And with having 7 female ducks, we are getting 7 eggs a day right now. 7 eggs a day. It's ridiculous. You know, just like chickens, they started laying slowly, and you know, you'd see a few more each day. And at this point, for the last week, every day I've collected 7 eggs. It's just nuts. And at first I didn't know what to do with them. I'd never used duck eggs before, but I've figured out that baking with the duck eggs is really great. And I've made some delicious frittatas, putting in some goat cheese from a local friend. And it has been amazing eating these duck eggs. And it's perfect timing because our chickens over here are all molting. As we head into the late fall, early winter, our chickens are all molting. So I'm only getting, out of 22 hens that we have, I only have 3 eggs a day from them right now, which is kind of crazy. But with our 7 female ducks, we're getting 7, maybe sometimes 6 eggs a day. That's just amazing production. Now behind me here is actually an old Jeep trailer that I got for free on Facebook Marketplace a while ago. And I knew that I wanted to make it like a mobile coop, mobile kind of housing for livestock. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be cutting off the sides of this and making a mobile duck house with this. My goal is to get that done before it gets really, really cold. Like hopefully by December I have it finished. As most of you know, if you follow our channel, we are building our house right now. And it's been taking a really long time to finish the inside. Between framing up the loft and doing the shiplap, I've been having injuries, and just time is not on our side. So we're gonna try to get this duck house built sometime soon. For now, it does provide them cover. They do go underneath there, sometimes in the storms and sometimes in the rain. Like right now, they actually like being out in the rain, as opposed to the chickens that look really sad when they get wet. But hopefully we will be building the duck house soon. If you guys have any ideas for designs of the duck house, let us know. Comment below what awesome duck houses that you've seen. But we do want to keep it mobile so that I can move it around the property. They're fresh grass and help them not make everything so muddy all the time. Now, are ducks harder to raise than chickens? I would say yes. Chickens are a good way to start, especially if you just are starting homesteading or you got a small backyard flock. Chickens are great to go with because they don't need that water source to submerge their bills or their beaks inside the water. You know, a duck doesn't need a big pond, but you do need to make sure you have that fresh water to them once a day or whatever you want to do. And so there's like that learning curve. But once they're full size and they got some water for them, they're really good to go. They're very hardy animals. You know, in cooler climates, we're on top of a mountain in Virginia, so it will get pretty cold and snowy. They're basically wearing a down jacket, guys, and they're gonna do fine up here. So they're more difficult than a chicken, but they're not that hard, honestly. We're really pleased with them. They produce a lot of eggs. They're entertaining, and definitely I think that if you've got the space for them, you should try it out as well. Make sure you've got space to move them around and have some way to get them some water so that they can jump in and get their bills submerged down into the water. If you can do that, maybe try some ducks someday. Man, it is starting to rain really bad right now. You can see that they're just hanging out outside and they enjoy being wet. That's what ducks do. If you're looking for information on raising ducks, obviously I'm just a rookie. I don't know that much quite yet, but we're having fun with it. Definitely check out Morgan Gold's channel, Goldshaw Farm. And there's a bunch of other channels out there that provide a lot of great information about raising ducks. So do your research and maybe see if ducks are right for you. Be sure to check out the video where we detail the hatching of these ducks from the eggs in the incubator, and we'll see you guys on the next video.